Hello everybody, Sleep Deprived Panda here, and today we're going to talk about the Toukabou Shigure. This is an event weapon that you can get right now in Genshin Impact during the event that's going on. I forgot the name of the event, but you get this weapon for free. You get it to all the way to Refinement 5 for free as well. But what is this weapon and what does it do? Let's take a look real fast. It has a substat of Elemental Mastery up to 165. And the weapon effect is called Kaidan Rainfall Earthbinder. After an attack hits opponents, it will inflict an instance of Cursed Parasol upon one of them for 10 seconds. This effect can be triggered once every 15 seconds if this opponent is taken out during the Cursed Parasol's duration. Cursed Parasol's CD will be refreshed immediately. The character wielding this weapon will deal 32% more damage to the opponent affected by Cursed Parasol. I should have a clip of said effect happening now, and if you pay close attention you should be able to see that there's a little red like ghost mark on it of the enemy that's affected by the curse. And again, it does appear to be random from what I've tested. When you hit a group of enemies, a random one just gets cursed, and then if you kill that particular enemy, it will hop to a random one that's nearby. For the most part, other than maybe like the Cinnabar Spindle, these weapons tend to not be like the best in slot for anybody, but they are a good option for free-to-play players out there who don't have a lot of 5-star weapons or any 5-star weapons to work with, and can be a really good substitute until you get something better. Starting with probably the first and probably the best character to use this with. If anything, look at that aesthetic. It matches his colors. Come on. You can't tell me this weapon wasn't made for Kazuha. But regardless, this weapon, again, Elemental Mastery is something Kazuha absolutely wants to have. It helps boost his passive talent where he grants a buff to his teammates based off his Elemental Mastery. And this weapon in particular will increase his off-field damage. A good alternative that most of you probably have as a free-to-play player is the Iron Sting. And this is a craftable weapon in Mondstadt, and it also provides the same amount of Elemental Mastery. It's 165 with a 510 base for both weapons. Now, in my opinion, when facing groups of enemies, Iron Sting pulls ahead because it affects all enemies, or all damage, I should say. So the next character is one that I do not own, so unfortunately we're looking at the character archive page here, and that's going to be Kuki Shinobu if you have her and you are building her as a Hyperbloom. If you're building her as a Hyperbloom trigger, elemental trigger character, she's going to be great for this since you want to stack as much Elemental Mastery as possible. And again, the weapons effect, very simple to use. She does do a bit of AoE damage, so it'll be affecting, one of the enemies will get randomly affected, but if you are using it on a boss fight, this weapon will help out significantly. Alright, the third character, in my opinion, that this weapon could be good for is going to be Keqing. Now, this is only going to apply if you are building her in an Aggravate team, which you should be, in my opinion, as that is her strongest team comp. Again, it gives Elemental Mastery, which increases the potency of your Aggravate effect. But regardless, I think this is going to be a good way to get some Elemental Mastery on her for free, and then you can feel free to focus on getting more crit rate, crit damage, or just more attack percentage on your artifacts. Number 4 is going to be Dendro Traveler. Now, this is a weapon that it's okay, I suppose, on them, since again, Dendro does love the Elemental Mastery stat. The Traveler, or Dendro Traveler I should say, has a very expensive burst cost, and usually Dendro Travelers use things like Favonius Sword, which is what I already have on my Traveler. It gives a ton of energy recharge and those extra particles for even more energy. Make it a great option. But you could use this if you really wanted to. It will boost their overall damage when using Dendro Traveler. Going back to the weapon page, there are, more characters you could use it on, but they're very niche and very not popular choices, I suppose. But like something like a Ayaka Melt team could probably use this, or Kea Melt. But keep in mind, those characters are usually built, or at least Ayaka is usually built for freeze teams, and they have the Blizzard Strayer set. So you'd have to do a whole new artifact set and teammates for that sort of team setup. But you could do it if you wanted to. Just Layla also as well might be a surprising pick to some of you, but if you're using her to do some melt reactions as well, you could also use this weapon to boost said damage. That being said, those aren't really, optimal or the best choices, but just something to consider. There isn't too much else to say about the weapon. I mean, it is a free weapon and you are getting it to Refinement 5 for free. My only critique with it is that it only applies this increased damage that you're seeing, that 32%. It's only to the character that's wielding this weapon. If it were, however, like a debuff, like anytime you hit an enemy and they get cursed, then they take 32% more damage. This weapon would have been used on a lot more characters for its utility and would have been an interesting choice for some support characters. But it's not the case. It's only for the main or sub DPS, which is why it's good for Kazuha since he does tons of off-field damage, or Keqing, because again, that 32% more damage is applying to everything they do. And Keqing players, you don't need me to tell you that you use basically all of her kit when dealing damage. You use normal attacks, charge attacks, you use the skill to do your electro infusion, you use the burst for more damage. So this is gonna be a great buff to all of that. Chances are you probably have a really solid 4-star or even 5-star weapon on your Keqing already, so this might seem like not the best option, but like I said in the beginning, this is good for free-to-play players or just players that don't have a lot of weapons to work with in general. But yeah, let me know in the comments who you plan to use this sword on and what you think about the weapon itself. I'm curious to know. I would probably, if I ever pulled Kuki Shinobu and I was trying to do a Hyperbloom team, I would give this to her, just so I don't have to share the Iron Sting between the two characters and I don't have a Freedom Sworn sword or any other 5-star weapon that would benefit her. So I think definitely give her this weapon if I ever get her in the future. But with that being said, that is it for this video. Subscribe if you like the content, and thank you for watching.